Welcome back. For last week's tarot deck review, we did the Women of Science tarot deck, and today we will be doing the pick a pile with that same deck. So as I am shuffling, I want to say thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing with people, not a jumper, just bad shuffling, with people you know might enjoy the mini readings, getting some looks ahead every week, or people who are learning about different decks. To have more of a say in content, or for early videos, bonus videos, access to secret menu of readings, discounts on personalized readings, head over to my Patreon for a personalized reading. You can check out my website or email me with any questions. I will not approach you. No good reader should be approaching anyone. If you want a reading, you should go to them. But I just like to warn you, as myself and other readers are having fake accounts that are sometimes bots and sometimes scams. So just be safe out there. For more examples of my readings, you can follow me on my various social media links. Everything is in there. So we are going to go ahead and do the pick a pile. And how that works is I put out the 3 piles, and you take a minute, take a deep breath, pause if you need to. That's pile 1. And decide which one calls you the most. That's pile 2. And then you can listen to all of them and focus on the reading you were given, or I put the times in the description, so you can always just skip ahead to your own reading. I do encourage with this deck for you to look up any of the women mentioned. I find that they tend to add context that is personal to you, and with that, we will get started, starting with pile number 1. Oh, the Sun. The Sun is a card of great blessings, and literally being in the spotlight. So as you go through the week, if you feel like all eyes are on you, they might be. The key to this, though, is to focus on what's coming in while also making sure that you are being appreciative of the people providing the blessings. This can be financial, it can be attention, it can be resources, but essentially when there are people giving you their time and attention, be sure to let them know that you appreciate it. And we have that with the 2 of Wands. Elisa Izaralde. I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names, but the 2 of Wands is a card of decision making, and specifically making decisions that take you closer to your vision. These 2 are interesting together because while the Sun is beautiful and the blessings that come with it are happy and cheerful, they can sometimes derail you from your dream, because when we have a vision of something, it's usually not the easiest roads that get us there. So sometimes when the sun comes in and you're basking in the warmth, you don't really see that it's all very surface, and that it is a choice that, while fun, will only be fun for a little bit. So these 2 together really want you to look at your long-term goals and figure out what the better decision is, more than rushing into the warmth and just what you've seen the light shown on. And finally, we have the Queen of Astros, or the Queen of Swords. She is observant. She watches everything, any easily followed patterns. As a mathematician, she'd been very aware of the pieces that go into things and how things add up, how things are put together. This card asks you to take a step back and really look at the details. Back to short-term versus long-term, we are taking everything in. And the decision that you make, that you need to make this week, needs to be one that is done with that balance of head and heart that you see with the Queen of Astros or the Queen of Swords. The queens are the water element, they are all heart. The swords are the air element, they are all head. And you need to balance out the logical with the emotional, because we are talking about long term here. So this feels very heart and very head, and this is very making sure that there's a balance so that you are satisfied not just in the next few days, but you build a foundation that will leave you with that satisfaction for a long time. All right, moving into the second pile. We have the Five of Wands, Mary Putnam Jacoby, Death, and the Three of Nanos, or Three of Cups. This is really interesting. The Five of Wands is a card of working together. You'll often see, especially with the Rider-Waite, you'll see it as competition and conflict, but actually it is about pushing yourself and working with others to handle conflicts and compete for the better. So she is a suffragette, and this feels like a very relevant message for this time. She did what she could and got others involved to do what's right for women. And with that, with the Five of Wands, it is less about the conflict itself and more about how we kind of pull in our fire and use it to help others. This is a card of working with others, not against. Death is a card of transformation, but really it's a card of new chapters. It's a card of closing up old storylines so that you can focus on the ones that are the most relevant. These two together, I feel like, are saying put away the ideas that are holding you back. And essentially, when we look at the Five of Wands as the card of competing against yourself and pushing yourself to be better, the Death is like putting to rest the old versions of yourself that don't fit anymore and stepping into the new person that you've become by pushing, by working harder, by feeding that fire, and really move into the next chapter more confidently. And then we have that with the Three of Cups, or the Three of Nanos here. And that is a card of community and working together, being part of a team, but also celebrating together. It's actually less about work and more about having fun. So there's a lot of community type aspect to this, but especially with the Death card and the Three of Cups together, it feels like finding the people that are willing to celebrate who you are now versus the people that are going to continually bring up who you were and sort of pit you against yourself, if that makes sense. This week, the focus really is to find the people that make you better and who appreciate you when you are better, instead of trying to hold you back so that they don't have to do the work themselves. Moving on to pile number 3. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, and Wilhelmina Fleming, or the Knight of Swords. So the Wheel of Fortune is my card of this too shall pass. If you were to look it up, a lot of times the Rider-Waite will talk about good fortune and good luck, but for my family, it's always been more of a change of luck. And I say this too shall pass because if you're having a hard time, the reminder that life cycles through and that sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down can be what gets us through the harder moments. And when we are having a good time, it can remind us to hold on to that and be appreciative of it. When we are doing this as like a quick little reading for the week, We see that as going through another cycle, starting to move through things, starting to pick up the pace on others. We have that here with the Lovers, which is a card of choices, a card of contracts. A lot of times, if people are looking for love and love readings, the Lovers are what they think they want to see. But actually, it really deals more with the logistical, the communication, the organization, the organizational parts of a relationship, essentially. It's less about the love and romance and more about the agreements we make with each other. They're interesting together because it says to move into better fortune, better luck, we need to make sure that we're on the same page in a relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. The thing about the Lovers is it really is more about the partnership. It is pretty much always a relationship where you're both about equal, meaning it's not likely to be one between you and your boss or you and your employees. It can be a close friendship or it can be a working relationship. It's just a matter of both of you having about even power there. And we follow that up with the Knight of Astros or the Knight of Swords, which is a card of looking for information, seeking out new ideas, going for active communication. It's a card of being loyal to the truth, seeking out answers. I love these together because there's so much communication there, and it's like it's right there, and as long as everybody's on the same page, we can go into something better. Now, we are in a Mercury retrograde right now, which if you look at my series on that in the Patreon, you know that oftentimes that comes with delays in communication or issues in communication. So this focus on communication here is really interesting, but also really says, to slow down, take the time to do the work so that you're both on the same page and everybody will see that that is for the better. So good luck. Thank you. Have a wonderful week.